Hi everyone, welcome to the IQ Movie channel, and in this video we will discuss a true story film, telling about the tragedy of the sinking of a giant warship belonging to the Japanese emperor named Yamato. This ship became the largest ocean liner in the world in its time, which was finally sunk by the onslaught of 350 United States warplanes in 1945 ago. On April 6, 2005, a woman who is the child of one of the Yamato ship troops visited a museum, where she saw the ruins of the Yamato warship. After visiting the museum, Uchida went to the port office. He wanted to rent a ship to go to the location of the sinking of the Yamato ship, but unfortunately the port head refused because the location was very far and difficult to reach. Not giving up, then Uchida tried to ask the fishermen there to deliver it, but none of the fishermen wanted to because the distance was very far. There an old man named Kamio overheard Uchida's conversation with the fisherman. In another place Kamio saw Uchida again. Kamio then approached and asked the reason for wanting to go to the location of the Yamato ship. Uchida explained that he wanted to know more about his father who died 1 year ago. His father named Mamoru Uchida, who used to be one of the troops on the Yamato ship. Hearing this, Kamio was shocked because he did not expect that Mamoru Uchida, who was one of his closest seniors on the Yamato ship, could survive the incident. Kamio was finally willing to take Uchida to the location of the sinking of the Yamato ship. They set off in a boat. A little boy named Atsuchi also came with them. In the middle of the trip, Uchida showed Kamio's father's photo. In the photo there were 3 men named Mamoru Uchida, Moriwaki and Karaki. Seeing the photo, Kamio became sad and remembered his past. In 1941 the United States inflicted heavy economic losses on Japan with sanctions and an oil embargo, making Japan's military condition worse. Forced in 1994, the 15-year-old cadets were deployed to the battlefield quickly. They were all assigned to the battleship Yamato. On the Yamato ship they are placed in a certain position. There Kamio saw 2 seniors who were practicing judo. They were Mamoru Uchida and Moriwaki. Then they were all taken to their respective places of duty. Kamio himself was placed in the anti-aircraft defense section. The next day they were all trained according to their respective positions. There they were trained in a disciplined manner full of responsibility to strengthen physically and mentally so that the condition of the ship was immediately ready for battle in less than 5 minutes. This is all to anticipate if suddenly the enemy comes to attack. After some time of practice, they were finally given a few days off to meet their relatives and pray for their success. On June 15, 1944, United States troops landed on Saipan Island. 4 months later, on October 17, 1944, United States troops entered Leyte Bay. On October 20, 1944, United States Air Forces carried out an attack in the Gulf, involving the warship Yamato, which was attacked by hundreds of warplanes belonging to the United States. Japanese troops who were on the Yamato ship were overwhelmed by the attack. Many troops were injured and even killed. Mamoru Uchida himself became one of the victims. He was hit by an attack resulting in his left eye being injured. During the 5 days of fighting at Leyte Bay, the combined Japanese fleet lost 3 warships, 4 carriers, 9 cruisers and 8 destroyers. Japan was hit hard and suffered heavy losses. The United States Air Forces almost easily defeated them all. A few days later came a commander named Admiral Ito Saiki. He was ordered to take over the Yamato ship. Then on March 10, 1945, United States bombers carried out bombings in urban areas of Japan. The city of Tokyo was devastated by the attack, followed by the cities of Nagoya and Osaka. On March 19, the United States deployed 70 warplanes to attack Hiroshima and Kure with the aim of cutting off the supply of ammunition for the Japanese Navy. Not only that, a few days later hundreds of American bombers attacked many airfields in Okinawa. Due to the increasingly cornered condition of Japan, the warship Yamato was ordered to go to Okinawa for assistance from the sea. Before heading to Okinawa, on March 25, 1945, all the troops of the Yamato ship were given leave to say goodbye to their families for the last time. When we arrived at Kamio's house, he was very sad and devastated because his mother had died. His friend, Takeo, explained that his mother was killed in an air strike on March 19, a few days ago. Now Kamio is alone with no one. His father and brother died on the battlefield and his mother was killed by an air strike. There Takeo tried to prevent Kamio from leaving for Okinawa, but Kamio insisted on going to Okinawa because he wanted to fight so that there would not be many more victims. On the other hand, Moriwaki met Mamoru Uchida, who was being treated at the hospital. Mamoru Uchida knew that the Yamato ship was assigned to Okinawa and asked Moriwaki about it. But Moriwaki doesn't want Mamoru to join this mission with his condition not getting better. On March 26, 1945, the United States attacked the Kerama Islands. Therefore, all troops were ordered to return to Yamato's ship immediately. Before leaving Kamio to say goodbye to Takeo explains that he will now work at the ammunition factory in Hiroshima while waiting for Kamio to return. Then all the troops were brought by a transport boat to Yamato's ship. Arriving on the ship, it turned out that Mamoru Uchida had secretly sneaked into the ship. There Karaki immediately scolded Mamoru for doing stupid things like this with his condition still not getting better. Exactly April 1, 1945, the United States troops again attacked Okinawa. 4 days later the commanders held a war meeting. Admiral Kusaka read the order from the Japanese emperor to immediately go to Okinawa. There he explained the mission's strategy without air assistance, only relying on the Yamato warship, because Japan's current condition was really bad and only the Yamato ship was Japan's only hope. On April 6, 1945 at 4:45 p.m., all troops were ready to fight. The crew on duty in the radio communications department picked up the transmission signal of the United States submarine, which knew that the Yamato was heading south through the Bungo Strait. On April 7, 1945, on the way to Okinawa, the Yamato ship was found by 8 United States fighter planes, but the plane was successfully driven out by the Yamato ship's cannon. Before successfully arriving in Okinawa, all Japanese troops were on full alert preparing for war. Suddenly in the air appeared 8 bomber fighter planes accompanied by hundreds of other types of battleships. American Air Forces attacked the Yamato ship all out. Hundreds of warplanes bombed the Yamato ship mercilessly. Around 350 warplanes were flying on the Yamato ship at that time. The Japanese troops were like a burning anthill. One by one the troops fell. They did not benefit from the absence of air support. The Yamato ship was attacked by United States Air Forces from all directions. Now the Yamato ship was completely helpless. In the midst of the battle, Karaki was shot and killed. Now only a few troops are left alive, including Moriwaki, Mamoru Uchida and Kamio. But in the midst of the fierce battle, Moriwaki and Mamoru Uchida were attacked and seriously injured. Now, only Kamio is left in the anti-aircraft gunners section that still survives. United States fighter planes relentlessly pounded the Yamato ship, until finally the Yamato ship began to become unbalanced and threatened to sink. The whole army was ordered to leave the ship. Mamoru Uchida and Moriwaki asked Kamio to leave the ship immediately. He had to stay alive to tell all this to the people. But Kamio refused because he wanted to keep fighting until his last blood. Mamoru Uchida and Moriwaki still forced Kamio to leave immediately. There Mamoru Uchida gave his valuables to Kamio. Kamio finally rushed to leave the ship while Mamoru Uchida and Moriwaki remained on the ship continuing the struggle. Long story short, the Yamato ship fell and sank. Some of the surviving troops plunged into the ocean. They swam until they were successfully evacuated. After the war was over, then Kamio went to Hiroshima looking for Takeo. He found Takeo in critical condition due to the atomic bomb explosion that occurred in Hiroshima. Takeo was happy to see Kamio survive, but Takeo breathed his last there. Returning to the old Kamio who told the story, he looked sad as he recalled his very sad past. Then he gave Mamoru Uchida's valuable item to Uchida, which turned out to be a knife. After arriving at the location of the sinking of the Yamato ship, there Uchiha took out a place containing the cremated ashes of his father, Mamoru Uchida. He sowed the ashes right at the site of the sinking of the Yamato ship to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the sinking of the ship. And that's the ending of the Yamato movie this time. Hope you guys are entertained with the storyline of the film this time. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel to get updates on other interesting movie storylines from this channel, and see you in the next video.